for anyone who's looking to improve their small talk abilities, which I'm not particularly good at, or perhaps more importantly, you just want to sound more like a native English speaker. Today, we're going to look at some key vocabulary that native English speakers use every single day. We're going to put this vocabulary into some IELTS Speaking Part 1 and 2 answers to see how it is used effectively. That means if you're unfamiliar with words such as humid, overcast, torrential rain, then stick around for this video. Greetings, everyone. My name is Kevin. I am a teacher and writer who is absolutely tickled pink about sharing all my best study tips with you. These videos are all about simple, practical, that is, useful study tips that you can use in your life and help to improve your skills and open doors for your future. If you like what you are seeing and it has been helpful to you in any way, feel free to click that subscribe button, like, share. All that goodness is very much appreciated. Our main course for today is weather vocabulary that native English speakers use. Practical words are the best because practical means you can use it in your everyday life, and that's obviously very important. Weather is a common topic. It's a common small talk topic as well, and it's all around us. So let's get the best tools, that is vocabulary, to discuss and describe weather. As you can see before us on our board, we have the following vocabulary: humid, torrential rain, brisk, overcast, clear skies, blizzard, smoking hot, a scorcher, forecast, highs, lows, or the high and the low, wind chill factor, pouring buckets, flurries, and AQI, which is air quality index. And we'll get into all of these words right now. We need to define things. Humid simply means hot and muggy. That is weather that is very hot and the air is moist. We call that humidity or humid weather. Personally speaking, I don't mind hot weather, but I can't stand the humidity, which means when it gets hot and sticky, the air gets moist and wet like that, it makes me sweat. It drives me crazy. I feel very sluggish and it's hard to really get anything done. Torrential rain is basically just heavy rain. We got caught in a storm last night and the rain was torrential. Did you see the torrential rain last night? It was coming down so hard. Brisk. Brisk simply means it's cool or a little chilly. It's brisk out there this morning. You better bring your jacket. Overcast. Overcast is no blue sky, basically a sky that is full of clouds. I prefer to play indoors on rainy or overcast days. Clear skies, I think you know, when the skies are all blue, not a cloud in sight, we say clear skies. Perfect for sailing. Oh, it would be perfect if we have clear skies on our vacation. A blizzard is a Dairy Queen ice cream. It's also a snowstorm. The forecast is calling for a blizzard this afternoon, so we'll stay in town. You don't want to go driving too far in a blizzard because there's low visibility. You can't see too far ahead of you, which makes it dangerous driving. Smoking hot. Ooh, it's smoking hot out today. Let's cool off in the pool. A scorcher. A scorcher is a very hot, humid day. I'm not doing any yard work today. It's a scorcher. When we look at the forecast, we're always looking at the highs and the lows. The high, the maximum temperature, and the low is the lowest temperature in degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit, depending on where you live, for that day. Today is a high of 30. Better put on that sunscreen. And for me, since I'm fair skinned, very, very pale, I'll put on like 3 coats just to be safe. It's a low of minus 30 today. Let's not walk too far. The wind chill factor deals with how much colder it is if you add the wind. Okay, and we usually deal with the wind chill factor in the winter. We might say, oh, it's only -2, but it feels like -15 with the wind chill factor. Pouring buckets. You might hear it's raining cats and dogs, and it's a common idiomatic expression. But where I come from, at least in Canada and North America, we would say pouring buckets. You hear that more often than it's raining cats and dogs. You're going to get soaked if you step outside. It's pouring buckets. Flurries, again, just means snow. So it's a good common word to know. You want to build high vocabulary for common words. And if you don't know the high vocabulary for common words, then it's great to learn for sure. They're calling for flurries again today, so we better shovel the driveway, right? They're calling for, which means the weather station, the weather network is forecasting some snow, some flurries later again today. We better get out there and shovel that driveway. Last but certainly not least, especially if you live in a city where there may be more air pollution, we look at the AQI, which stands for Air Quality Index. Basically, scientists and professionals, environmentalists recommend that you should wear a mask if the AQI is over 150. We have the human X, which is the humidity factor. Just like the wind chill factor, we can also have the humidity factor. It's going to be around 25 degrees tomorrow with a humid X of 33, which means, just like the wind chill factor, this is the temperature, but if you add in the humidity, it's going to feel like it's a lot hotter. That's wonderful. Now that we have defined and are getting familiar with our new vocabulary, let's uh, let's put it into play by answering some else speaking part one questions about weather. Remember that if you are cramming, that is studying for your else test, for the speaking parts, part one questions, you're a minimum of 15 seconds in length, no more than 30 seconds. For your part one questions, you're going to get 5 to 7 questions, depending on how short or long your answers are. It's also great to know how you're getting your mark. It doesn't matter what kind of student you are, take the evaluation criteria and make a checklist. You can see that your IELTS speaking grade comes from 4 parts: fluency, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. So we'll make sure that we have the vocabulary, different kinds of vocabulary. We also have grammar, complex sentence structure, and you can do that by using things like subordinate conjunctions, starting sentences with even though, if, to create the multiple clause sentences. You can also use different tenses. With vocabulary, as you can see, we have strong synonyms. Again, those synonyms for common words. We have collocations, phrasal verbs, idiomatic expressions. Again, if you don't know what all these things are on this checklist, check out some of my previous IELTS videos. We cover them in more detail. Question 1. What's the weather like in your hometown? This is an all-time common, very popular IELTS speaking question. Typically, the area where I reside tends to have hot summers with a humidex around 30. Our winters are long, with occasional blizzards and lows of minus 15, not including the wind chill factor. While the winters drag a bit, I've always enjoyed this four seasons climate and get involved in different outdoor activities in each. Question 2. Do you prefer hot or cold weather? If I had to choose one, I would definitely opt for weather. If I had to choose one, I would definitely opt for hot weather over frigid means really cold, temperatures. Flurries around Christmas always gets me into the spirit of the holidays, but I'm not into sub-zero temperatures and high wind chill. There's nothing like clear skies on a summer day. Even if it's a scorcher, I can always cool off by jumping in the bay. Question 3. How often do you check the weather forecast? I have a Weather Channel app on my phone that I check on a daily basis. For the most part, I focus on the 2-week forecast, including highs and lows, percentage of rain or snowfall on any given day. It's an ideal way for me to plan ahead, especially if my family and I are considering taking a road trip to the city on the weekend. No one wants to get caught far from home if it's going to be pouring buckets. Okay, now that we've warmed up, I want to put some of this vocabulary into a longer answer. So for our example, we're going to look at an IELTS Speaking Part 2 question, and it basically asks you to describe the who, where, what, and the why of something. Why is almost always last on the card. Check it out. You will see that it's true. And basically, you want to give details for each kind of part and speak for about 2 minutes for sure. Because if you're only speaking for 1 minute, you're you're using half the time, right? A test is an opportunity to show your skills. So the longer you can speak, the more detailed answer you can give, the more points you're making, and generally your score will be increasing as well. Describe your favorite kind of weather. You should say what kind of weather it is, how often it occurs, what you do in this weather, and here's the why it is your favorite. Without a doubt, hot summer weather is my absolute fave. Although the climate in my hometown, which is located just north of Toronto, Canada, limits summer to just a couple months, my family and I make the most of the clear skies and highs of around 30 degrees. Every year, we manage to check a bunch of stuff off our summer bucket list, such as camping, road trips, and barbecues. On top of that, we spend loads of time at the beach, just stretching out on the shore of the bay. I suppose the reason I don't mind scorching hot days or humidity, even though I'm fair skinned and burn easily, is that we always keep cool. Swimming is not only one of my favorite exercises, it's also an incredible form of relaxation. My family and I will practice simple strokes, tread water, and swim out past our heads to a massive rock, or just float around on our backs and gaze up at the shining sun. Another highlight is like the best thing about it. Another highlight of hot summer weather is the savory aroma and taste of food grilled on the barbecue or over a campfire. It's essential for us to cherish every moment because it always flies by, even when fall comes around. I try and keep the summer vibes going by taking lots of dips in the bay, as long as the water is bearable, and staying out to watch the sunset, paint the skies purple, glorious, glorious purples and oranges. Overall, as long as we have cool drinks, ice cream, AC, and swimming, I'll take blazing hot weather over sub zero temperatures any day of the week. There you have it. We have looked at some new vocabulary and we put it into some else part speaking, part one and two answers. Once again, check out this checklist because if you are studying for IELTS, it is vital. You want to follow the checklist. Make sure that you have all of these components when you speak because these are the things that the examiners are looking for when they give you a mark. If you want to get at least a 7 score on your IELTS speaking, make sure you're doing a lot of these things, if not all of them. There you have it. I hope you can practice some of these new words every day and use them naturally so they can help take your speaking to a higher level. Once again, if the video has been helpful to you, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Your support is wonderful. If you guys have any questions or comments at all, feel free to share them with me. I'll get back to you immediately. And again, these are wonderful words. And if they're new to you, learn them, practice them, and put them into your everyday speaking. The hot weather is coming. It's upon us now. Get out there, get lots of sun, do some gardening, go for some hikes. It's a little early for swimming, although I did see someone jump in the bay the other day. I'm sure the water is has a bite to it, but it won't be long before we can go swimming as well. Get the fresh air; it's super healthy, and enjoy. Be healthy in body and mind. We will see you again soon. Take care.